What is going on, guys? Welcome to Stock Watch Sunday. I think I'm live. I hope I'm live. I tried a new thing. I got a new gadget, guys. I always have new gadgets, right? I got this thing over here that just likes to, say China all the time. I got a new thing's called a Stream Deck. If you guys are interested in that, hit me up. I'll let you know what I think of it. And I would like to thank my good buddy Cameron over at Young Money Investments. He actually got me something. He got me a birthday gift. Can you imagine that? It's called a Stream Deck. So it's actually going to allow me to be able to function a little bit easier and faster, maybe make smoother transitions and stuff like that. So anyway, you didn't really need to know all that. But anyways, welcome to Stock Watch Sunday, guys. What a crazy weekend again. It's just never ending, right? We've seen an increase of positive tests and all that good stuff. Things aren't getting any better yet, right? But we knew this. We knew things were going to get better before they got worse. We're going to talk about all of that tonight. But first, let me welcome some folks that are here with me now. What's going on, Bruce, Miguel, Aleem, O'Brien? Good to see you. Quick Fox, Bob. What's up, Hope? DJ. Yeah, DJ has a Stream Deck. Cool. Yeah, I got the Stream Deck Mini, so it's a little bit, I'm still trying to figure it out. So, I was number 2 for the like. Oh, yeah. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. Thank you so much. Liked your Connor vid. Thanks, Quick Fox. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was over at, did an interview with Connor Poliferone over at the Boiler Room Trading. Go search him out. He's a really great guy. We go way back. So, O'Brien's town is on lockdown. Yeah, man, I think that's going to be a running theme for this week, as it looks as if we might have the worst week or worst month since the Great Depression. It's going to be kind of crazy, but I'm still not worried. I won't say I'm not worried, but I'm still not trying to panic, and I don't think there's any reason to panic, and that's why you're here, right, to own the chaos. So if you're visiting here for the first time, welcome to my channel. This is Own the Chaos. When I first started this channel, I was like, Own the Chaos is perfect because the stock market is crazy and chaotic. And this is crazy and chaotic, guys. So if you want to learn about how to manage this crazy and chaotic game that we play that's called the stock market, and it's not a game, right? It's also investing. It's your livelihood, and I get that. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to manage the risk, what you should be doing during this period of your life, and how you're going to move forward coming out of it. So if you want to learn more about that, please subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. And if you want to hang out for Stock Watch Sunday, this is my favorite time of the week. I love being able to connect with you guys on a personal level every week, and it's a lot of fun. But obviously things are very serious right now. But I don't want to be all somber and boohoo and whatever. I want to try to be lighthearted. Everybody else is all doom and gloom. And I know it's serious. It's something but we have to do something to, ease our sanity a little bit, right? We're all cooped up in the house. We're trying to figure out what to do. So watch some YouTube, check out Stock Watch Sunday, and tell your friends. Share this video, share this everywhere, because we're going to be here for a while. So what's up, David Crowley? What's going on, Lost One? What's up, Joe Kaz? Good to see you, brother. Mr. Cool. If there's anybody new in the house, drop a comment. What's up, Muiz? Oh, Muiz, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. At least I haven't seen you comment in a minute. What's going on, brother? Alan, good to see you, man. FDA-approved test kits. I can look into ATYU going to 10 tomorrow, 800% gains. I don't know about that, but we can certainly look at it. And Cuba got the answer. Yeah, maybe. John Murphy, what's up, Bo? First time here. Oh, nice, Bo. First time. So we got some first timers. That's awesome. What's going on, King Kong? Andrew, Hope. Teachers need 500% raise their next contract. Not just teachers, but how about nurses, doctors, and people who are on the front lines, right? It's tough. It's tough out there. So we're going to talk about ones, though, some stocks that I think that are going to be worth taking a look at going into this week, and ones that I think that are going to do well out of this, crisis that we're in. And excuse me 1 second. I think that I'm going to, yep, maybe not. Hey, it's live. So I have to tell you, I'm also suffering from some allergies here. I hate that when you get like a sneeze that's just stuck in your nose. It drives me crazy. Um, but my eyes have been so watery today, and I've been sneezing like crazy. So just bear with me. No infections here on this side of the screen. It's just allergies. But um, I know, I know, Hope. Um, but I hate that. It drives me crazy. So there are some things that, like I said, are going to be worth watching and worth investing into the into this crisis, and things that are looking good, things that have to stay open in order for us to survive our livelihood. So there are going to be opportunities to invest in. There's an opportunity in every market. So we're going to look at that. Some things we're going to look at. Amazon, Uber, and Walmart are the three that I'm looking at this week. Some notable mentions I would say are going to be Nike, that has earnings this week. So I think that's really going to tell a really good story as far as that's concerned. Nike comes out with earnings on Tuesday. We have Tesla, that I still think is very much on the bull watch. I would not be bullish on Boeing. I saw somebody was talking about CCL. Terry, CCL, I still think the bottom has yet to have come in for that. That's Carnival Cruise Lines. And believe it or not, Coke. I don't think the bottom's in on that yet either. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Cover the mic if you sneeze. Yeah, I have a mute button, so you can hear me. So, right? So I'm good. I'll cover the mic. We can talk about the gold market a little bit. Bo, sure, we can talk about that. I actually leave that for the end. So if you guys would like to call in as well, I'm going to try to still leave that option open for you. And I'll let you know when you can call in. You guys did a great job with that last week, and it's still been an ever-evolving process. So as long as everybody's calm and kind and respectful on the call lines, we're going to keep rolling with it. I think it's a lot of fun. Just adds a whole other new element to it. So without further ado, let's take a look at some things. So Amazon. Amazon's the first one we're going to talk about. And I'll show you the chart in a second on where points you should look at for potential buys to go long on. Believe it or not, yes, we are going to look to go long on Amazon. And the reason is because Amazon can't keep up with the demand as consumers are forced to buy products from home, right? And there are concerns of people saying, well, Amazon's not going to be able to send stuff because of coronavirus. They're going to send people home, this, that, and the other. But they can't afford not to. So their Prime Pantry division has had to announce that they would not take any new orders for the time being, as it's attempted to restock its own supplies to fulfill existing orders. But reports are coming in that Amazon would need to hire at least 100,000 new employees to help keep up with demand. So when they open them back up, they're going to be hiring six figures, 100,000. Let's put that in perspective. How many of you out there love Costco and love to shop at Costco, love everything about Costco? I actually love Costco too, and I think Costco, right along with Walmart, is going to be something that you would want to look into buying into and going long on. But Costco has a little over 200,000 employees. So Amazon's going to have to hire half of Costco's workforce just to keep up with demand. And that's going to happen. They have to. They don't have a choice because the demand is just so great. So I think that even if there is some sort of temporary halt on Amazon orders, which I just don't see that happening, once they do open back up again, it's going to be a massive explosion. People are going to be dying to get, to their Amazon products. They want them sent to them. So keep that in mind. We're going to take a look here at Amazon, as it already has moved up quite a bit. And actually, I'm going to try this. Bear with me. Hopefully it works. Boom. I think it did. So I'm going to bring you over to WeTrade HQ. It's over at WeTradeHQ.com. This is a platform that I built with my partner, Jake. And it is a platform that's designed to help you learn and grow and celebrate in the success of others as it relates to investing and trading in the stock market. So if you want to learn how to trade in the stock market, I'll let you know what you need to do in just a bit if you want to be a part of my team on how to learn how to invest. And I'll fill you in on that in just a second. But Amazon, pulling up the chart here over at WeTradeHQ.com, bottomed out here right at 1625-ish. 1625, we're going to call the support here for Amazon. And if this continues, now we already know, if you guys haven't seen, that futures got halted minutes into being opened up today. So they've already been, halted there. They already dropped 5%. So I'd imagine Amazon is going to lend itself another opportunity to probably buy in on some buying here on the dip. So looking for $16.25. $1,625 is where the support's going to be on Amazon. And then obviously you can see here that it came up to a resistance. Came up here to a resistance around 1964. But anybody born in 1964? It's a good year, I guess. But if it comes back down here to 1627, 1625, I think that's going to be a really good opportunity to buy. And we'll see where that actually ends up. If it can't hold 1625, which I honestly can't believe or can't imagine that it wouldn't hold that, but we'll see. I think that if it breaks 1625, look out below. I think maybe it comes back down to 1329 area, but I don't see that happening. There's going to be these essential companies that have to stay afloat, that have to stay open. And as I was alluding to before, Amazon's just going to have to be one of those ones that does. They have to stay open. Walmart has to stay open. These are all essential stores or companies or businesses that just have to be open. And I'm sure they'll be taking extra precautions. Jeff Bezos has already talked about, taking precautions and not only just from a company standpoint helping Amazon, but for the country, for the world, trying to come up with ideas and ways to help out in that sort of way. So, look for Amazon, like I said, go bullish on. And we've talked about, this as far as being careful about going bullish on stocks because of how volatile the market has been. So if you have some cash set aside that you are planning on using for long-term portfolios or what have you, now's the time to start scaling in on those. I wouldn't necessarily throw the boat at all of this all at once, but scale yourself in because nobody's going to be able to accurately predict the bottom. There have been some positive notes about the crisis that we're in right now. So perhaps if there's some sort of breakthrough, you'll see the markets ramp right up, and then you would have missed out on potentially buying in on, at a potential bottom or potential low. So having said that, try to be careful about what I say. I think that, we're still in this mode of it's going to get worse before it gets better type of thing. So just be on the lookout for that. Again, 1625 is going to be a good area of opportunity for Amazon. If it dips down below that point, we're also, waiting in anticipation of oil to come back on. So if oil comes back, then the rest of the markets may end up following suit too. So there's a lot of things in play here. So Amazon's definitely the first one on the list to go long on this week. We'll see. So Uber is going to be the next one. Now Uber, interesting stuff here with Uber. And you guys know that I've actually put out a video not too long ago before all of this happened that Uber was not going to be something I would invest in long term. And I still, am a little touch and go with that, especially because with what Tesla has going on from a ride sharing standpoint. But for the foreseeable future, with at least the next 1 to 2 years, I think Uber is going to be something that definitely moves in the right direction. Uber came out on Friday, said the CEO told investors that company is still well positioned to weather the crisis and to emerge even stronger, noting that rides are down 67%, 60 to 70% in markets like Seattle that have been hard hit by the virus, some of these hotbeds. So that's a serious thing, right? And that's why Uber has come down 45% since the beginning of February. But he did point out that the company had $10 billion in cash, just sitting around, at the end of February, and with a $2 billion credit line. So none of the debt that they have is actually due until 2023, which by then I'm sure the market would have rebounded to some degree. To what degree that is, we don't know, but I'm sure that it would have rebounded by then. The stock, like I said, has dropped 45% since February 6th. So right now, if we're looking at it here on, again, WeTradeHQ.com, I still think that even though it's had a nice little run up from its bottom support here, so it came all the way down to this bottom right here at 20, we'll just call it $20, and then continued to move up. And the reason that it moved up is because of what the CEO has outlined here for us on those comments that I mentioned just previously. So looking at this, I would say that it's still on the cheap. Coming from its highs, we can go back to, let's see here. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom here. Zoom out. This one up as high as close to $50, I want to say. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Shoot. That is totally my fault. So it had highs of $50. That was on the wrong chart. That's my fault, guys. Let me rephrase that. Totally my fault. So it came down to actually as low as $13 and was as high as $47 at one point. Came all the way down to $13 and has now bounced back up into the 20s. But I do think it's still on the cheap. You can see that perhaps it still has room to go to about $30. Many analysts have been noting that this should be up around $40, even in the climate that we're experiencing right now. Lots of upgrades on this one. So I think Uber still has a lot of room to run. But we'll see how the rest of the market reacts going into this week, especially with a lot of the stuff that we know that we've kind of been told about over the weekend and how the markets are reacting. I don't want anybody going in and just starting to buy this up because I told them to, but these are ones to definitely watch. This is the reason we call this Stock Watch Sunday, right? So I think this is definitely going to be one to watch, considering how far it's come down. Like I said, it's come down from nearly $50 all the way down to $13 and then bounced once the CEO came out and announced and said, hey, we're in good shape despite what's going on. We're fine. Things are good. We got money and we're fine. So, one thing that I think a lot of people need to understand and really need to kind of wrap their heads around is that this is going to be a short-term issue, a short-term crisis. So if you're looking to invest in something longer term, or even just for this week, there are definitely going to be opportunities. And so looking at Uber here, I think that it's just way too low. I wasn't a huge fan of Uber, but I think down here, it's just absolutely too low. So I would say that if we're looking at this from a technical standpoint, it's still got room to go. I still think it can go all the way up to around $30, $35 at least. Maybe that happens on Monday, but again, you have to watch and see. One thing that I've been telling people that they need to do within my mentorship group is that, if you're going to play the day trading route, if that's your strategy to go in and day trade, you're going to have to wait till after the market opens. You can watch the pre-market and see how the pre-market's reacting to certain things, but then waiting till after the market opens, which is always a good practice, but it's never been more important to watch this sort of thing than right now. And so I would, be very cautious about this. If Uber starts to do well pre-market, make sure that you're waiting for a potential pullback, which I think could definitely be, if you're looking for a pullback here, I would say maybe around $17 could be the pullback. You just have to wait and see though. So that is my sentiment on Uber. So sorry about that. Sorry about the confusion in the beginning. I told you, I got allergies. Allergies are in my brain. So my apologies. Let me check in with you guys. Born in 92 feels old. Some people are talking about ages. All right. Good evening. Yeah, good evening, Eunice. What's up? Uber had a crazy week. Isn't that the truth, King Bradicus? Financial education loves Uber. Listen, I love Jeremy. I think Jeremy is a respectable guy. If you guys know who Jeremy is, I would be shocked if you didn't know who Jeremy was from financial education. I think he's a wealth of knowledge, and I think he's a fantastic dude. But, it doesn't mean that we have to agree on everything. And I don't agree with him on Uber, but, we'll see how that plays out in the long run. Okay. Would you buy Tesla? Freightliner? I would buy Tesla in a heartbeat. And we can take a look at that. But let me, I'll let you guys bring up some Tiggers in just a sec. Let me get through Walmart real quick here. So Walmart is interesting. Walmart's planning to hire 150,000 workers through the end of May. So remember I told you that number about how many people work for Costco and how many people Amazon's looking to hire as well, how much they're going to have to hire to keep up with demand, let alone anything else, but just keeping up with demand. Walmart's planning to hire 150,000 workers through the end of May, and it may increase demand during the crisis, during time of a crisis. As many other small businesses close up shop, Walmart and Costco, like I was saying earlier, remain open because they have to, and people are needing to keep up with demand. Walmart also going to reward existing employees. This is a cool thing. Walmart's going to reward existing employees for keeping stores open. Each full-time employee will get $300 cash bonuses, and part-time employees will even get $150. Not the greatest thing in the world, right? But it's better than nothing. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Waltons or the Walmart Corporation as how they treat their associates sometimes. And we've seen a lot of controversial things come from Walmart and how they've been able to treat their employees. But, they're doing more than I would say a lot of the other companies are doing. At least they stepped up and said, hey, we're gonna throw you a little bit of money because you're helping out. You're keeping, America going, so to speak. And so, interesting. I thought that was good. Good on them. And the fact that they're hiring 150,000 employees tells me that demand is crazy. And why not, right? It makes total sense. Walmart's coming down, but everybody and their mother is going out and buying toilet paper and everything else that they need, right? Milk, eggs, all the stuff that's perishable. That's the first thing that they buy. It makes no sense. But nevertheless, sales are going to go through the roof. So from a fundamental standpoint, and like I was saying, from Costco and Amazon, all these companies that have to stay open during this time of crisis, these are the ones you're going to want to look towards, not only into this week, but also moving forward into the next quarter, maybe even beyond that. So let's take a look here at Walmart and look at this chart. So looking at the chart here, if you're looking for opportunities to buy on potential dips as far as Walmart's concerned, I would look right around $100. Right here, you can see $100 is a pretty strong area of support. And then again at 110. And then once again, there's a pretty good resistance here at 121. Really kind of shot right up over 121. But then had since come down over the last 2 days on Thursday and Friday. So obviously really rocky. It's really hard to kind of determine what kind of pattern we're seeing here on the daily chart as far as Walmart's concerned. But what I will say is, like I said, from a fundamental standpoint, the fact that Walmart's revenue is going to be going through the roof, and like I said, and Costco, and I should have put Costco here on the watch list, and we'll just talk about Costco in a second. But Walmart, Costco, Amazon, even Dollar Tree, they're staying open. So Costco has really fantastic dividends as well. That would be another one that I would look towards on any potential dip to get yourself into. And these are ones that you're probably going to set and forget. I would say start adding to this. If you start to see, tumbles here and there, I would still add to those dips on things like Walmart, Costco, Amazon, those ones, because like I said, this is about supply, demand, and how much they're selling. And with Costco's most recent quarterly report, it showed part of February sales, and it was already like through the roof just in February. So imagine what it's going to look like for March, April, May when they come out with their next quarterly report. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this rolls about. But these are the ones that I would definitely keep an eye on for the week and go bullish on. So, those are the three that I definitely would keep on the watch list as far as I'm concerned and go bullish on. Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily be bullish on, or I would be bearish on your airliner still. I don't think the bottom's in on those. I think that the worst is yet to come, in my opinion. The cruise lines, the worst is yet to come. So your CCLs, your Carnival Cruise Lines, your Wynn Resorts, wouldn't touch those. Really, any of your travel stocks, I just wouldn't touch them right now. But there are areas of opportunity. Nike's going to be one that we definitely want to keep an eye on because they have earnings on Tuesday, and I think it's going to be very telling. I think there's going to be a lot of expectations that Nike's not going to have a very good quarter because of they had to shut down their China stores and all that. But if they provide us with a positive outlook because China has now opened all their stores back up, that might be something to look out for. So Nike might end up being a really good bullish play. Look out for a video that I put out on Monday as far as that's concerned. So without further ado, let me look and see what you guys are looking at. And I'm going to open this up for calls here in just a second. I would really love to hear from you guys. Okay, there we go. We would really love to hear from you guys. If you could call 443-281-3763. Again, that's 443-281-3763. And I'll put that in the chat here as well. 443-281, and it's going to be 3763. If you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome to do that. While I'm waiting on calls, though, I will go ahead and answer some of the questions here. I see somebody says that Apple will see a huge revenue decrease. Amazon won't, but the stock hasn't dropped either. And I think that, one thing that's promising, Apple has opened up their stores in China, but the other downside is that they closed them up everywhere else. So, it's tough, right? But I still think that the Apple is definitely a buy, irregardless. I think the Apple is still very much a buy. Like I said, I wouldn't be throwing the boat at everything right now. I would be scaling myself in, taking chunks at a time as the market continues to come down, buying in on the panic. And I think that if you can weather the storm, then you're going to be well above and beyond what everybody else is when they decided to just sell or cash out their 401ks and not even think about it and stuff like that. So, I think Apple is one of those great companies, especially on the tech side of things, that's going to do very well out when the dust settles and things starts to go back to normal. Bo says true. It still has room to go, but still think it would be a good idea to start loading some shares soon. And I would agree with that. Is that money cash in hand or is that going to be taxed? So, So JR, I would say that if you're looking to, it's going to be probably money that you have already been taxed on. But any money that you make, profit wise, it's going to be taxed as regular income anyway. So, and that if you have a Roth, IRA or 401k, that's a whole different ballgame. But we can talk about that at another time. Ruel Black, what's up, Black Ru? What do you think about oil ETFs to set and forget, specifically UWT? So we take a look at UWT. Yeah, I can pull that up. Let's take a look at that. And guys, again, don't be shy. Feel free to call in. I would love to hear from you all. 443-281-3763 is the number, and it's in the chat as well. So if you guys would like to check that out, I would love to have somebody on and pick their brain or have them pick mine. And so Black Roo says, what about UWT? So this is an ETF. If you guys aren't familiar with what this is, this basically plays off the oil futures. So this is 3 times leverage, which obviously it doesn't look all that great. It's crashed down all the way to 27 cents. And if you're not already aware, you can. There's been this huge battle between Russia and Saudi Arabia with OPEC. Saudi Arabia said we're just going to flood the market with oil and really ruin everybody's day. By providing an exorbitant amount of supply when the demand isn't even really all that high. So then if you guys know anything about simple economics, when supply is high and demand is low, the price is low. So looking at this, and I'll bring the chart over here and to have you take a look, UWT this is the bottom of the barrel, no pun intended, right? So in my opinion, I would say that oil definitely will have a bounce in it somewhere, and it's going to happen whenever the Saudis and Russia finally decide to start getting along. When that's going to happen, I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later, and here's why. So I think that with what the Saudis are doing right now, they're self-sabotaging. In my opinion, well, it's not even an opinion, it's just a fact. They're self-sabotaging. It costs them about $40 a barrel to produce the oil that they're producing. And with oil being less than $20 a barrel now, we're looking at 1990s type of numbers here. There's no way they're going to be able to survive this too much longer. So basically, they're playing a game of chicken with us, the U.S., and Russia more specifically. The U.S. right now is just a little bit of a byproduct of the feud that's going on between Russia and the Saudis. And the Saudis really, they can say they like us, but at the end of the day, they really don't like us. So they really don't care. So at this point in time, somebody's going to have to say, Uncle, I would venture to say if I knew Russia, and I think we all do, Russia's going to be the last one to cave or say uncle. But stranger things have happened. The bounce is going to happen at some point. UWT has come down 95% since the middle of February, or actually since the first week of March, it's come down around 90 to 95 cents. So 95%. I told you guys I can't talk today. So looking at this, I would say it's definitely a buy the dip type of situation. It's not even a dip. It's like buy the crash kind of situation. So, yeah. And they do have, does UWT have a reverse split tomorrow? Or is it just GUSH, GUSH? I'm in GUSH, which I'm still going to remain in GUSH until the pop, and which I firmly believe is going to happen. And that's just, anyways, I would say, yes, go bullish on oil, and I think you'll be fine. As long as, you can weather the storm, so to speak. Lots of good questions here, guys. You guys are great. Let's see here. What else we got? Where is my WeTrade HQ admin? GS33 guys, highly recommend Brad's mentorship. All right, yeah, that's great. Let me bring that up while we're talking. So if you guys aren't interested, and I'll get back to your questions in a second, but I saw that Jerso just brought that up. So if you guys are interested in checking out the mentorship, the links are down in the description below. I go live with everybody just like I do here, but it's a little bit more in depth. It's a little bit more intimate, if you want to call it that. People can actually talk and ask me questions a half hour before the market opens and a half hour after it opens. I make my plans, I make my trades, and then I'll talk about longer term investments as well. But then I'm with everybody in a private chat room as well, all throughout the day, 24/7. So if you guys want to be a part of that, the links are down in the description below. And yeah, would love to have you there. So let's go ahead and see what other questions we have here. Alan says, KNOS had new news. Is it too late to get in? It came back down on Friday. Good question. So if you guys aren't privy to penny stocks, believe it or not, that is how I got my start. If you guys have been joining me for the first time or been with me for only a short period of time, penny stocks have been something that I just can't get away from. I do love penny stocks to death. More specifically, the over-the-counter market is something that just fascinates me. I love the thrill of just trading penny stocks. So Alan's asking about KNOS, and so if we look at KNOS right now, this one came out with, and it was an unbelievable move. So this one was called out in the mentorship down at the 002 area. So it's called out in mentorship at 002 cents per share. So this is a fraction of a penny. So at 002 cents per share, went all the way up to nearly 4 cents. That is over 2,000%. If you guys can even fathom that, something like that moving. It was over 2,000% move. Yes, it was called in the mentorship. People can verify this in the chat. It was called in the mentorship at 002, went all the way up to 0375, over 2,000%. And this has just been an incredible move. The reason this has been moving is because they have HEPA filters, and they've actually been selling out of a lot of their products. Alan, I'm not privy to the news that just came out. I didn't see that, but what we can do is we can go to OTC Markets and figure out what that news is. So let's go here, KNOS. So this is the other nice thing about our mentorship too, is that it's not just me in there. It's a family. We have other experienced traders as well that give their insights and their thoughts on things, strategies and whatnot, and people learn from other people. It's not just about me, and that's how I like it. So looking here, I don't see anything. Maybe it's in the news here, Alan. Let me go back. Here we go. Yeah, so news came out on Friday, it looks like, Friday night. Let's see here. It looks like just like a letter. I'd have to go through the whole thing, Alan. But to answer your question, if I'm looking at the chart, this is on the daily chart here. This looks like it's pulled back a pretty good amount, but also consider the risk here. I would say that if you're looking at something and you like the news here and you think that it's definitely can continue to go, which I think it definitely can, and seeing that it's had over a 50% retracement at this point in time, I would say you're probably getting into the range of where I would buy a dip if I have not been in KNOS before. And I think there's definitely a good opportunity for this to continue to go up because we're just getting in the thick of things, right? And if they're already selling out of their products, they're going to, they're making more, they just have to resupply. I think that KNOS is going to do very, very well. And I would say that anything under 2 cents is still very cheap, in my opinion. So if you're looking at KNOS, I think that's a very good one. Speaking of OTC stocks, we've talked about PASO at length. PASO came out with announcement on their Twitter account. They said we're going to continue to work on our PE partners and the pending transaction terms. We're also currently coordinating with our financial advisors to deliver a dividend for shareholders that are in that, which is really nice. We expect to have details over the next 7 to 10 days in the form of corporate press release. And I didn't necessarily want to put that on the Stockwatch Sunday list, only because we have talked about PASO at length. But if you guys aren't aware, I have been in PASO sub penny. So it was down under a penny. It's gone up over 4 cents, so over 400% up to this point. This is something that I'm in long term because I'm looking for this potential merger, but I've talked about it a lot, so I don't want to go into it too much. But PASO, definitely one that you want to watch out for if you guys are into penny stocks or like to trade penny stocks. PASO is definitely a solid one to take a look at. Hope says cookie. Hope's in the mentorship as well. She says cookies for everyone if you join. That's too funny. Speaking of joining, there's also the membership to the channel. If you guys want to check that out, you can get a watch list from me every single day. If you're not feeling the mentorship and you want to get a watch list from me every day, join the membership. Click join next to subscribe on my YouTube channel. And for $4.99 a month, you get a watch list from me every single day. So if you guys are interested in that, please go check that out. No callers tonight. I know. Yeah, nobody's calling. It's funny. It's feast or famine. Either everybody and their mother's calling or nobody calls. But that's okay. No big deal. Let's see here. How about PCTL? Oh, looks like we got somebody. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Hold on 1 moment. Hi, who's this?
Hey, it's Bob.
Hey, Bob, what's going on?
Hey, not too bad. What are you thinking about since these guys ain't signed this stimulus package tonight? What do you think the market's going to do in the morning?
That's a very good question. I'm going to let you go, Bob. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, brother. So Bob is asking about the stimulus package that went through, or that didn't go through, is presented in Congress, and it looks like maybe Democrats weren't so happy about the conditions there. At least that's what I'm seeing. I didn't actually get it happened right before I went live with you guys. So, if they didn't approve the stimulus package, I would say that, and that's probably a good reason why the futures actually ended up getting suspended. So it's going to be rough. I think it's going to be a tough day. If you guys are looking at inverse ETFs like TVIX, that's definitely one that I've been trading in and out of. Friday was a really scary day. I made a killing on TVIX on Friday, but it was within 30 seconds. I got out. I got scared of it almost because I was up so much, and I was like, you know what, I'm out because it's so up and down, and I can show you why. So if we look at TVIX, which if you guys aren't familiar with what's going on with TVIX, it's an ETF that's triple leveraged. I'm sorry, it's 2 times leveraged, I believe. Yes, it's 2 times leveraged, TVIX, and it is the inverse of the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. So if you guys take a look at TVIX, it is very, very volatile because anytime the SPY, so it's the inverse, right? So it's inverse of SPY. So anytime the SPY is up, TVIX is down. So if you're looking at this, look how volatile this is. This is all over the place. It went up as high as $1,000 on Thursday from lows. Before the market did what it did, it was down into the $20 and $30 range. Unbelievable. So this has gone all the way up to $1,000 from that in less than a month's time. Crazy moves, right? So what's going to happen with TVIX tomorrow? If the market continues to crash the way that it is and the government doesn't approve the stimulus package, it's going to be a wild ride tomorrow. I would imagine that TVIX actually ends up making a move back towards that $1,000 mark if they somehow don't come up with something. But if by some chance, the middle of the day, some news comes out and the market decides, hey, we like this, it's going to go back up, TVIX can drop like a rock. And you can see that it went from $1,000 on Thursday all the way down to the $450 range. So it dropped by over 50% in a day's time. So just keep that in mind, that if you're going to be trading TVIX, just be in and out. Don't mess around with it. Having said that, I would look at this chart and say, okay, I'm on a 30-minute chart. How do I want to trade this? Well, it looks like there's a decent resistance around $638. and it looks like it maybe had a gap fill and created a support around 432. So this is where it dropped all the way down to. Went all the way up from $1,000 all the way down to 432. So it dropped 50%. Wild and crazy move. And here's the other thing. Because the markets are so volatile, sometimes they don't necessarily react as quick as you would expect. So we've seen this where the SPY is green, TVIX is green, and vice versa. It's been pretty wild. So if you're going to trade something like TVIX, you got to be quick to that trigger finger. Otherwise, it can really, really burn you. But it can make you a lot of money too. So there's definitely benefits to that as well. So good question, Bob. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you, brother. As always, Bob's been a long-time supporter. So thanks, man. Appreciate that. Okay. NUGT for long-term hold. So, Bo, since you are new, and you've already asked me about gold once, we can take a look at NUGT. Absolutely. Why not? As long as you give me that sweet, sweet thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to. I'm just playing around with you. But I would appreciate the thumbs up. Definitely shows me some support, guys. Would appreciate the likes. Thanks so much. So I'm just happy you guys are here. So looking at this, I'm looking at NUGT here. This is another one. This is a gold ETF. You guys are all about the ETFs here lately. And that's fine. I like ETFs as well. NUGT is going to be tough, though. Here's the thing about the minor ETFs versus actual gold ETFs. So there's this really big misconception, and I'll come back here to the camera. There's this really common misconception that these minor ETFs, like your JNUGs, like your NUGT, that they actually follow the price of gold. And that's just simply not true. Sometimes they do end up following the price of gold, but it's not the rule of thumb. The miners, more times than not, actually follow the market. So the market's doing extremely well. You'll see these miners actually do pretty well too. But if the overall market continues to crash like it is, I mean, if there's nobody to mine because of coronavirus, I just got demonetized. Whatever. I'm telling you, YouTube has been crazy about that. But if they're not working, then nobody's mining for gold, and then gold will probably end up going up at that point because it becomes more scarce, right? But the miners, they won't be doing anything. So be careful with this. It looks as if it's found a bottom here. If we look at this on the 30-minute chart, it looks as if it's found a bottom around 508. But it doesn't mean that it can't go lower. If it holds the support very well, then maybe you got a shot on NUGT. Maybe it moves back up to around $8.40. I think that would be an excellent trade if you're able to get into NUGT at a nice support here around 534, 535. We're right where it closed at on Friday. So just be very careful with this one because it does not necessarily follow the price of gold. It is a minor. It's not gold. So just keep that in mind if you decide that you want to trade this. So I hope that helps you out, Bo. Again, happy to have you here. I'm glad you're here. Would definitely appreciate that. Hey, thanks, Alan. Appreciate the donation. Alan's always give me support. Appreciate it. Okay, so for one Ford stock, $5. Scalicia. I think that's the. I'd appreciate that. Thanks so much. We trade HQ admin. Got to keep it in perspective. Where did she put something else up here for Alan KNOS? She got that one. No. Okay. All right. So yeah, think we're good. Awesome. TVIX was good for me on Thursday, but hit me hard on Friday though. Yeah, I know it's been tough. Sick puppy. I saw that one earlier. Let me take a look at this one. TOMDF just got the contract for COVID-19 test kits. Would we expect a major upswing here? Look, here's what's happening here in the markets, right? Everybody's trying to capitalize on this, and we've seen this. So for those of you who don't know, that TOMDF is an over-the-counter penny stock, and we can take a look at it, but it's probably not. The chart's probably not going to tell you a whole lot, because if there's news just came out over the weekend, then maybe it ends up making a move. Here's the thing: everybody and their mother is going to be coming out with stocks like this, Sick Puppy. or news like this, rather. They're all going to be flocking to it. We saw that with crypto, especially in the over-the-counter stock market. We saw that with crypto. Everybody and their mother just so much as whispered, "Hey, we're thinking about getting into the crypto," and it would run 1,000%. And a lot of them were ridiculous. Some of the cryptocurrencies were crazy. That's another story for another time. But and same thing with the cannabis industry. Cannabis started to get big. Every over-the-counter penny stock out there was like, "Hey, guess what? We're getting into cannabis or CBD something," and it's still like that to an extent. And now we're here in the COVID space, and it's like everybody and their mother has something that they can do or to contribute to this crisis. The issue is that there are some companies out there that don't have your best intentions or your best interests at heart. And what I would say is, and I'm not saying that this is for TOMDF, but look in that balance sheet. If there is an insurmountable amount of debt in TOMDF, then that is one you're going to want to stay away from, because they are solely doing this so that they can continue to dump shares so they can get themselves out of that toxic convertible debt. So just be very cautious about that. I'm not saying that it can't go. Sitting at 11 cents right now, it's at 11 cents for a reason, right? And it's not because they were waiting around hoping that some crisis would come along that they could, give more contributions to. So just be careful. Look at the balance sheet. Go to the most recent 10K or annual report, and just give it a look. You're going to look for convertible debt, and if they have a lot of it, I would stay away. Looking at drip to buy, John Musso, I think you're on the wrong side of that. I mean, I would say maybe drip continues to go, but I would say that drip's going to have a forward split here sooner rather than later. Maybe they have already announced the forward split. I don't remember. I don't really recall. They may or may not have, but anyhow, I would say drip's probably one that I would stay away from, and I would look towards Gush. And actually, that comes from somebody who's currently in GUSH. So take that for what you will. How do you feel about Plug and OVV? Their energy stocks, I would say the energy stocks are going to be tough. Just if you're looking for a longer term investment, for Plug in particular, I'd say it's good. I like Plug a lot, but they have to get their balance sheets in order. They got a lot to prove. So I like them, but we'll just have to wait and see. This is obviously going to stunt their growth a little bit more, and so I would probably wait before I'd start putting more money into Plug at this point in time. King Bradicus, thanks on thoughts on BDX. Let's take a look at that. I appreciate the donation, man. Thanks so much for that. I really appreciate it. King Bradicus, first of all, I mean, how can I not love that name, right? BDX is Becton Dickinson. So looking at the chart here, let's pull this up. I'm going to pull this up and I'll share a screen in just a second. Did they just come out with news on this, Brad? Let me see. Black Roost said the forward split was announced on Drip. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm trying to keep it all right up in here. All right, so I don't know if they've come out with news or anything like this, but BDX is a biotech company, so I'm sure that they're doing something in regards to the virus that we're dealing with. So looking at this, it's the bottom looks to be at around 216. He said, Brad says they're seeking FDA approval for a faster test kit. And I'm sure that they'll probably be fast tracked, given everything that we know and what we've been told. Things are going to be fast tracked as far as FDA approval is concerned. So chances are they probably will get approved, Brad. So if they do get approved, I'm sure that this thing moves will have quite a big move into it. I like this one. This one looks really good. It trades well. I would say that there's a pretty strong resistance here around 223. And so just keep that in mind. 223 is going to be the area that you're going to look for a resistance break there. It looks like it bottomed out quite nicely here at around 215. So just that's That's the two areas of resistance and support I would look for. If it comes back down and sits around that 216, 215 area, I would scoop some of that up. So if what you're saying is true, they're seeking FDA approval for faster test kits. My opinion is that they probably will get approved. CEO is at the White House too, so that's a big deal. I think that they probably will end up getting approved, given what we've been told up to this point. So I would say if it does dip back down to 216, that is a perfect area of opportunity to buy into. In my opinion. And then I would say that if it breaks up above 223, it's a very good chance that it continues to make that move, and you can get in on some really good momentum as far as that's concerned. All right, Brad, hope that helps. Thanks for your support, man. I really do appreciate you. Looking to Greg here after the close of the markets on March 23rd. Oh yeah, you put out Gush is going to have a 1 for 40 reverse split. I'm still in Gush. I'm not saying you can buy it after the split and see where it goes. But nevertheless, I think it's going to bounce. So I'm sure they're not splitting because they're going to dump more stock into the company. So it's not going to really impact it as much. Reverse splits, people don't like them, but there are exceptions to the rule. And I think that if oil starts to turn around, it's game on for Gush. So that's why I said that I'm still in it, and I'm in it through the split. And I'll continue to add to it as I see fit. And I didn't mean to make that rhyme. So take that for what you will. Thanks for the input, though, Greg. Appreciate it. All right. That's going to do it for me, guys. It's a great turnout tonight. Awesome engagement. I know that people are kind of afraid to make calls or whatever, but Bob, I appreciate you being the lone caller. Thanks so much. I would love to, keep that jive going too. But if you guys want to call in on next Sunday, I certainly would appreciate come at me with your questions. And I really appreciate the engagement here too in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic. This channel is continuing to grow, and you guys got nothing better to do now anyway. So just come over here, watch some Own the Chaos. And we'll own the chaos that is the stock market together. Okay, folks, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you got value out of this, I certainly would appreciate it. And I will see you all before the bell. B. Smith is out. Take care, guys. Have a good one.